Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Useless Organisms, a show where two useless organisms discuss a variety of topics as it pertains to their meaningless existence. Today's show, we will discuss impossible meat and historical events we wish we could witness in person. Keep in mind that this show, Two Useless Organisms, is not safe for work, so we might say naughty words or, something, whatever the hell. Joining me is Tristan. I am Tommy. Tristan, how you doing? Episode
Buttholes.
one. Buttholes. Good talk. Yeah.
Now that we've got that out of the way, I'm doing well. How are you, Tommy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Today is my Sunday. Yesterday, I rode Mako at SeaWorld, so I'm I'm feeling good.
Ooh, you've got the energy running through your veins from that.
Yeah.
I have the energy today because today was my Friday, so my weekend
Hey,
starts now, and I'm feeling good. I'm going to sit around and do absolutely nothing.
that is awesome. Love to hear that. And speaking of Mako and SeaWorld, so for those who used to listen to Three Guys Without the Whys, we used to also talk about theme park related topics on that show. But now we are going to have a separate podcast just dedicated to the theme park stuff because we are very passionate about theme parks and can do an entire podcast just on that. That one will be more safe for work. It's going to be called Please Remain Seated, and keep a lookout for that one as well.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. Have a new show to do. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to make it funny too. We're gonna have a lot of the three guys. Oh, sorry, two useless organisms brand in there, but it
Yeah,
is going to be safe for work.
that is correct. For
And
this
I
one, we're just going to be like fuck poop shit balls.
That's
Hee hee.
right.
Hee hee hee.
All right, and
Humor.
yeah, so this is actually in sort of a weird way, our first episode of this show. Given that we now have a new name, a new theme, a little bit here, one less
Yeah.
organism on the show. We
Yeah.
do miss
R.I.P.
Eric dearly, but oh well, rest in peace,
Barely.
dearly.
Yeah. Now that we got rid of the dead. No, I'm kidding. No, we miss Eric.
We do, we do.
All right. Is it time to jump into topic number one already?
Jump in the fire, Tommy.
Jump into the hoop. Yeah, cool. So today's first topic, we're going to be discussing Impossible Meat or Beyond Meat. I should have checked them to see if those were different brands. Now, neither Tristan and I are vegetarian or vegan, and I don't know if I could ever fully go vegetarian, but I am starting to incorporate more Impossible Meat into my life. Like for breakfast every morning, I usually do some sort of fake meat patty with an egg over easy. Um, I know Impossible Meat and stuff is better for the environment. I sound like a fucking idiot right now. But anyway, Tristan, how do you feel about fake meat?
All right, so here's the McDeal. To the best of my knowledge, have never eaten fake meat.
To the best of your knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I might have. I don't know. If I go. Here's the thing. I like eating meat, so whenever I go
Hmm.
somewhere, I usually get something that has meat or
Hmm.
that is meat oriented. And like I said, to the best of my knowledge, it's all real meat. I mean, with the exception of like McDonald's and Taco Bell and shit, where
Yeah.
like none of their
Oh
food is
yeah,
real
where
food.
it's like maybe 40% meat
Yeah.
at like Taco Bell and McDonald's, which oddly enough, Taco Bell is like my favorite fast food restaurant. But
Oh, me too. Me too.
yeah,
But
um,
I've heard it's good. I've heard you can't tell the difference a lot of the time, so I'm totally
yeah.
willing to try it.
Like I just bought some Beyond Meat at Walmart today and made myself some burgers right before the show, and I really liked them. And just last week, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I went to this place called the Slutty Vegan, and that place pretty much sold like it was greasy burgers and fries, but it was all vegan. And
Wow.
aside from that, this place had like a really fucking good vibe. Like they were just fucking lit as hell. All the names of the foods were like one night stand, sloppy toppy. And like if it was your first time there, it'd be like, yo, we got a virgin from Orlando. Like they were fucking lit. It was great. Um, but yeah, we're starting to see a lot more impossible options being offered at restaurants. Like I know Burger King has an impossible burger. I'm surprised that not more fast food restaurants are doing that. Like Taco Bell does have like vegetarian options, but like they're not really good. Like I accidentally got a bean burrito once, just a bean burrito, and I wasn't a big fan of it. I would be interested to see them have like uh, beefless beef option or something like that.
Doesn't Taco Bell, for all their vegetarian or vegan options or whatever, just replace everything with potatoes?
They do that. Yeah, they do that too. I know they recently had a potato burrito, although that had beef in it, and I don't know if they still have that. I feel like they don't.
I like their potato fiesta bowl thing. It's like it's just
Ooh,
cheese, potatoes, and sour cream, and I don't like sour cream, so none of that. So it's just cheese and potatoes, and it is beyond tasty.
nice. I never have had their bowls. I only ever get like the cheesy gordita crunch or anything like that. Getting their taco or burritos or whatever the hell. Never the bowls. I should try that out though, because I go there a lot.
You
Gotta
got to
spice
try
it up.
the naked chicken chalupa they got right
I
now,
did try that.
dude. Good. Those things are. Oh,
Yeah. Did you
I'm
add
weird
beef to
though.
it?
I have. I've had it with beef. I've had it with extra chicken, where they
Extra
actually
chicken.
put chicken in it.
Oh wow.
Um,
I should have tried that myself.
there's if you order on the app, like you can
Mhm.
customize like every single thing
Is
about
that
it.
is that item still there? Because like I know that was just added like maybe a month ago as like a temporary item because they
Gosh, I
got rid
hope
of my quesalupa.
I hope it's still there. Last time I got it was probably 2 weeks ago, so I'm not really
Okay,
sure. But
so might be lucky.
yeah,
But anyways, fake meat.
yeah,
So
whatever.
Tristan hasn't really dabbled in fake meat. I highly recommend everybody try it because it's a nice environmentally friendly alternative, and a lot of times they taste as good as regular meat.
Tommy, my inability to participate in this conversation reminds me. You know who Joe Rogan is?
Yes,
Okay, so you know how he has like his 3 hour podcast.
yes.
Well, I was listening to one where he had these two experts on psychedelic drugs,
Hmm.
right? And one of the guests has been doing psychedelics for decades, and the other guest, who's like an expert on the history of psychedelic drugs, has never
Hmm.
touched drugs. Yet he's an
Huh.
expert on the subject, and he really did. It really is. So I
Interesting.
remind myself of him because I am a genius, and I've never eaten fake meat.
Yeah, and I have eaten fake meat, and I sound like a fucking idiot right now.
You don't sound
Um,
like one. You are one.
yeah, well, yeah, and I also sound like one because I am one.
Yep,
But
point
anyways, I
proven.
recommend if you ever go to a restaurant and they have some sort of impossible meat option, definitely check it out. Whenever I go to Animal Kingdom and I go to my favorite place, Nomad Lounge, I get their impossible sliders that are good.
Ooh, dude, I love going to Nomad Lounge. I've been there twice in
Yes,
the past couple months. I get their
yes.
they have some sort of chili chicken or something. Like it's a
Ooh,
bowl with
yeah,
rice and chicken. Really, really good.
yeah. For
All
more
right.
theme park related discussions, head over to Please Remain Seated.
It's gonna be hard to cut the theme park
I
stuff
know it's
out.
gonna be so hard because like literally that's all I care about, which is why we have another podcast. But anyways,
All right. All right.
see, is it time to take a commercial break?
I think it is time to take a commercial break.
All right, so now a word from our sponsor. Hey everyone, are you tired of sitting in traffic, or do you ever park somewhere but you forgot where you parked? Introducing Flying Car Juice. If you ever want to fly over the traffic at a stoplight, or you forget where you parked, just use the Flying Car Juice and your car will fly over the traffic, and your car will fly back to you. Now, you can only do it for these reasons because they aren't fully FDA approved, but you can use them for just those brief moments. Flying Car Juice is currently at $10,000 a gallon, only sold on Amazon and CVS pharmacies. Go get yourself some Flying Car Juice. And we're back.
We are back. Wow, that I'm gonna have to get me some of that.
Yes, you should. It'll come in handy for sure. It sounds like, because especially being in Orlando, we're always stuck in traffic, and you're always parking in places where you forget your car, so it's really handy.
Do you think if there's any sort of shortage of the flying car juice, that all the fucking idiots of the country are going to start filling shopping bags with it and putting it in the back of their car so they can have extra, and therefore inflating the price of flying car juice for the entire country?
I think once it becomes more mainstream, it's a little bit more underground now and a little bit pricey for those kind of fucking type of idiots that would do that. But unless it's like someone that got like lucky with Bitcoin or something, and they're, like they said, it was $10,000 a gallon, and you can only use it for a few different purposes. So
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah. So once it becomes a bigger deal, it will, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, alrighty. Thank you, Flying Car Juice, for
Thank you, Flying Car
sponsoring
Juice.
our show. I'm gonna move on now to my topic, and this is something I think a lot about. I actually had to change it a little bit for this because we started a theme park podcast, so I had to change my thing to not be theme park related.
Yeah.
But, my segment here is, if you could go back in time and witness any historical event as a spectator, not as a person involved, but just a spectator, what would it be? Tommy.
Tommy, shit. That's a good question. Because oddly enough, like one thing that jumped in my head was a theme park related thing. And it's actually not too far back in history. Literally just over a year ago when the world shut down. Now, when the world shut down, I was in North Carolina just visiting family. I had picked a random week in March to visit them, and that just happened to be the week the world ended. However, my roommate was actually in the Magic Kingdom when Disney announced that they would be closing in a few days. Like he was on the hub with, everybody waiting for the fireworks, and that's around when the announcement went out, and like right before fireworks, so people on the hub are like kind of like, oh shit. But yeah, that's one historical event I think I would like to be a part of as a spectator. How about you, Tristan?
My original answer, to go to the Disney thing real quick, would be to go and witness the opening of Disneyland.
Yeah.
And be on Main Street. That's a pretty like obvious answer, but I think that would be really, really cool to see. That whole day was really cool. Actually, if anyone is interested, theme park excursion here for a second, go on YouTube and watch the opening day ceremony that ABC had. It's really, really interesting. It's all on YouTube. Anyway, so what my real answer is, I changed it to be, I would want to witness the sinking of the Titanic.
Ooh.
But I would be a female child, so I would 100% survive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I just want to be the captain.
Well, I don't know if you got too good a view. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe you did. You were up there. I mean, you've seen the movie. He's up in that room with all the big glass windows.
You see everything.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that's definitely a better spot than all the people that were trying to swim away, and then the suction of the sinking ship actually pulled them down, and they drowned while being pulled to the bottom of the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Or the ones that just got hypothermia and couldn't make it to a boat.
Yeah, those little babies. But
yeah,
I would just be a female child floating on the lifeboat, watching it go down.
Yeah, no, that would be a good place to be.
I've always had a weird fascination with the Titanic. Did you know, I believe this is true, that in like the next 10 or 15 years or something, the Titanic will be completely gone?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's just rusting away. So
she's been going at it. I remember going to a Titanic exhibit at a museum when I was a kid. And I think they gave you like a passport of somebody who was on the ship, and at the end you found out if you survived or died, and I was a dead person.
Yes. Yes. I survived. I did that same type of exhibit. I actually did it on International Drive here in Florida. And they did the same thing. And I believe I lived. I was a first class passenger. So
nice.
Yeah.
I think another historical event I would like to see is the murder of Julius Caesar.
That's a good one.
I want to go back to just like ancient Rome or even ancient Greece just to see what life back then was like. Because apparently that was like peak society up until like everything fell apart for like the Middle Ages / the Dark Ages.
Yeah, Rome is, that's a good point. That's an interesting thing. And despite, wanting to see someone get stabbed like 48 times or whatever, I would also like to see Rome. They did have such cool. I remember I once read a whole magazine sitting in a grocery store about the aqueducts. Those like, they were basically just big. They look like bridges, and they were slanted ever so slightly to allow water to flow from wherever the water was coming from to the city. And I just remember thinking how impressive that was back in that time that they were able to do that.
Yeah, like, and then people started throwing shit out their windows for a few hundred years because was it fucking Genghis Khan that raided them? I should know my history better. All I know is that Rome fell.
Rome fell. The Colosseum is still half there.
Yeah.
The movie Gladiator is cool. That's all I got.
That's right. We are history buffs here.
We are. I'd like to see Abraham Lincoln get shot in the head too.
Yeah. I'd love to be in the theater. I'd want to be specifically behind him.
Well, there was one fella who was behind him, Tommy, but the rules of my topic here was that you can't be involved. You have to be a spectator.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be involved. I would just.
Oh no, you just be the guy behind him when he got shot in the head.
Yeah, I'd be behind the guy who shot him.
Oh.
Wait, no, I'd be behind the fucker that shot. I'd be behind John Wilkes Booth, and then maybe. No, this would be a part of it. If I was behind him, he would have a harder time running away.
He jumped off the balcony onto the stage.
Oh, fuck. All right. Damn it.
You'd serve no purpose. You'd probably be an accomplice.
Yeah, you're... Fuck.
God damn it, Tommy. Do you know how this works? I said you can't be involved, and you're up here like, oh, we'll be in the booth with Abraham Lincoln. You can't do that.
So, I mean, it started off as me just witnessing it. But speaking of being a part of events, so I actually saw a TikTok recently. It was discussing about, well, if you were to go back and stop 9/11, how would you do it? And some guy said...
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
I know, is mayonnaise an instrument? He would eventually just go back in time to stop Julius Caesar from changing the calendar. There's a lot more content in the middle of that led up to that. But those are the highlights that I remember.
I think,
How would I stop 9/11? Go back and stop the months from changing.
So, all right. So he changed the calendar. He added August, didn't he?
Yeah, he added August and July, I think.
Yeah, July for
Julius
okay.
and Augustus.
Okay, so he added 2 months in the middle, right?
Yes, because October is supposed to be for 8th and November for 9, but now they're the 10th and 11th month because of fucking July and August.
So it would be 7-Eleven.
Exactly.
That's a gas station. Gas can't melt steel beams.
You're a gas station.
Huh.
So exactly, gas couldn't melt steel beams, so 9/11 wouldn't happen.
Wow.
That's the point that he made.
We solved a mystery.
We really did.
Look at that. All right. Moving on. We have a Yelp review for you, folks. It's been a while. So I really had to dig around for this one, but it's an interesting one. It's got a bit of backstory, so let me explain that here. I believe this Yelp review was actually written using voice commands that the reviewer was speaking into their cell phone, but the reviewer's husband is in the background flipping channels on TV, and some of the TV dialogue made its way into the voice command, thus its way into the Yelp review. You follow, Tommy?
Yeah.
All right. So having said that, this is one confusing ride. So strap in, please remain seated, and we're gonna get going here. All right. So this is it. I'm gonna start with what it begins with. This is for Miss Nellie's Sushi Bar and Psychic Shop. Here we go. Cool. Hey Siri, begin writing Yelp review. Honey, could you turn down the TV? No. Miss Nellie's Sushi Bar and Psychic Shop is highly disappointing. I do not recommend it. I will admit it was very convenient. I could eat sushi and have my palm read in the same place. This place was very dirty and the staff was extremely unreliable. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. The owner of the shop's name is Nellie Spaghetti, and she seemed nice but a little wacky. She kept singing The Wheels on the Bus the whole time I was there. Honey, please turn the TV down. Go to hell. I sat down at the bar and asked for some sake, and the employee brought me a root beer, and then I ordered sushi, which didn't come out for 35 minutes. This is my swamp. While I was waiting for my sushi, I learned why this isn't the best part of town, because next door some sort of drug bust or something was going on. Many police officers were there and arrested a bunch of people. When my sushi finally came, it was rolled very poorly, and they only gave me one chopstick. I guess I was supposed to use Nellie's psychic powers to levitate the sushi into my mouth. Ha ha, honey, I think I just told a joke. Eat shit and die. Let me watch TV. As I was eating my sushi, I overheard Nellie in the back room on the phone. She said, I just took a fat dump, and I swear it had arms and legs. Also, we ran out of toilet paper, so I'll wipe when I get home. My appetite was gone immediately, but at least I had my palm reading to look forward to. I just invested a few $1,000s into something called Beanie Babies, some new trend, I guess, so I was hoping the psychic could tell me I would have good fortune with my investment. I then went over to the other side where the psychic was and waited at the counter while Nellie stood with her back turned eating a can of Play-Doh, one ring to rule them all. She took me into a dimly lit booth and sat me down and began staring at my hands. She stared for such a long time without even moving. She began to drool on the ground, and I cleared my throat to wake her back up. And she jolted up and said, Ah, yes, you have a cloudy future, but I can see that soon you'll obtain a hefty fortune of money, only to have the devil himself rise from the ground with bright white flames emanating from his eyes and mouth as he lets out a horrid screech. The sound of 1,000,000 people in anguish flees from his throat as he slowly locks eyes with you and extracts your soul from your body and discards your corpse into a black pit of lifeless bodies. Your inheritance means nothing as your soul is taken into another universe of pain and despair, and you learn that no earthly possession will save you from an eternity of suffering under the rule of an almighty Leviathan. Learn it in the ways of soul-thrashing black sorcery. Nellie slowly looked up at me with a blank look in her eyes, so I thanked her and left satisfied that she foresees my investment making me a good profit. On my way back to my car, and now back to Pulp Fiction. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children.
Like that her husband
And I will
watched
strike
both Shrek
down
and Pulp
upon thee
Fiction.
with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you. Oh, wow, what a good movie. Yeah, I do not recommend Miss Nellie's Sushi Bar and Psychic Shop, as I ended up losing $35,000 in little stuffed animals from the 90s, and the sushi was terrible.
Wow. There's a lot to unpack there.
There is a lot.
What? Just her husband was watching both Shrek and then Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
was there another show that I missed there? I heard the Geico commercial.
Well, that was a commercial in between films, yes. Oh, I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But,
yeah.
But
true. Yeah, you weren't there. We just dissected that.
Yeah. But this Nellie girl sounds like a real piece of work.
Yeah, she really does. Like, I myself have never trusted a psychic shop. The only psychic shop I think I've actually seen in person is that one near the Waffle House off of what is that, like
535?
530, yeah, one of those roads in Orlando.
No, I've seen that. I've been in that parking lot, and yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's a scary place.
We've all been there.
We have. I've eaten waffles there at 3 a.m. like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, lucky I only did that like once.
Yeah.
Or maybe twice. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Let's do that. That'll be our next date. Let's
record an episode there.
Yeah. We'll just bring our fucking shit and have, oh God.
That has to be probably the worst place to record a podcast. It's got to be so noisy.
Oh yeah.
There's like, I was in there once at, no kidding, 3:34 in the morning, and there was a family with kids of like a toddler, an 8-year-old, mom and dad. I don't know what they're
What
doing, but
family is at Waffle House at that AM?
at that age, I
The
don't
the
know.
only I'm like the only like I don't. It's not even justifying it. Still, is like maybe they are in the middle of a long road trip. Maybe I don't know, but either way, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's a weird. I could not piece it together in my mind what they.
Did they go to the strip club right after that?
I don't know.
That, I mean, if we're taking children places they shouldn't be, Waffle House at 3 a.m. That's honestly worse than having your kids listen to this podcast.
Well, I don't know, but about that, I mean, it was a pretty good podcast.
No, it
But
is a good podcast. I'm just saying, like, we're not safe for work, but Waffle House at 3 a.m.
are we safe for waffles?
I think we are.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That about sums her up. Thank you for coming along with us on this wild journey on, our first episode of Two Useless Organisms. We want to give you some info here. We would really appreciate it if you guys would follow us on Facebook. At the moment that I'm currently speaking, our Facebook page is still called Three Guys Without the Wives, but we're going to be changing that here soon. We do have a Twitter page for Two Useless Organisms. The at thing is actually just two organisms. When I made the thing, it didn't allow me to pick one, but it picked one for me. At least it kind of made sense. So at two organisms. Instagram. I don't remember if I've changed our Instagram over or not yet, but we'll be doing that soon. And YouTube, we would actually very much appreciate it if you subscribe to us on YouTube. Right now, we're called Three Guys Without the Wives. I think I'm going to change that over here soon. But we're going to be putting these podcasts out in video form on YouTube as well as the regular audio form on all your favorite podcast platforms. But we would really appreciate you subscribing on YouTube and leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. That makes a big difference for us. Please take the time, leave a review, rate 5 stars. And that's about all I got today. Tommy, what do you want to say?
I don't have much else to say.
You never do. You're a man of few words.
Correct.
Yeah,
and the few words I do say.
All right. And that's about it. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will see you again soon.
Two useless organisms. Two useless organisms.
Cool. Alexa, lights pink.